Amundi is the leading European asset manager with more than 1.3 trillion euros of AUM. And we think that when you are the leader, it means some responsibilities as well. And one of them is to integrate the future into our investment process. It means that we think that climate change will really or is already impacting society, and we cannot deny this reality. And so we must already integrate this situation in our investment process. So we do that for a lot of assets. And more globally, 95% of our assets have an ESG filter. So it says something very important. It's not to look good in an annual report. It's not to be in front of a camera. It's because we strongly believe that it's part of our fiduciary responsibility to integrate these criteria in our investment process. Now, the second part of your question is what the finance industry can do. Here, we strongly believe as well that we are in front of a revolution. For decades, only NGOs and governments were paying attention to climate change. So heads of states were meeting from time to time, from one COP to the other one. And recently, about 4 or 5 years ago, the civil society, the finance industry, had a kind of wake-up call. Very much related to what I just said before, that here we are talking about risks. And what is the job of an investor? To assess risks. And if you combine that with financial innovation, if you combine that with coalitions that are helping spread the word about how aligning portfolios with a low carbon economy, and if you combine that with policymakers accelerating the process, then you have the ingredients of a recipe that is extremely powerful. So it means that now the finance industry has an even bigger responsibility in his hands, because we are all realizing that we can have an impact on society while generating returns for our clients. That is our job. Amundi is one of the 4 founding members of the Portfolio Decarbonization Coalition. It's a non-for-profit organization under the umbrella of the United Nations, funded by AP4, UNEP Carbon Disclosure Project, and Amundi. And we gather the asset owners that are already taking action on climate change. And I'm glad to report that the 28 members, so it includes Allianz, APG, Caisse de Dépôt, FRR, Unilever Corporate Pension Fund, New York Common Retirement Fund. So you see a very wide range of investors, all chasing returns. And these 28 members representing $3.6 trillion, 3.6, so yes, that's a very big number, are interestingly committed to align their portfolios with a low carbon economy for $625 billion. $625 billion is a very big number in absolute terms and in relative terms, because it's about 20% of the assets of all these players. So it says something very important. It says that it's not to look good. It's because all these asset owners are strongly believing that they must integrate these risks in their investment process. And it's not something they think about, it's something that they are already implementing. And that's the big news. I think on trends about sustainable investments, I think we see at least 3 trends. The first one is the fact that asset owners, long-term oriented asset owners like pension funds, insurance companies, and so on, really keep on accelerating the process of integrating these criteria in their day-to-day job. So I think it's clear around the planet. So it's accelerating. And the other thing is that, as we all know, millennials are taking off in a certain sense, and it creates a call for products and innovation dedicated to them. The third trend that is very interesting is the fact that the policymakers around the planet are realizing that this asset owners mobilization can be a very powerful force. And so here and there, they are trying to accelerate the process. Two concrete examples is the TCFD. So the G20 requested Mr. Michael Bloomberg to think about disclosure, climate change financial disclosure. And they disclosed their report asking for such disclosures. In France, we passed a law, December 29, 2015, that makes all asset owners, that asks our asset owners to disclose such risks. So you see that there's another trend, slightly behind the scene, among the policymakers to accelerate that mobilization, because they know that by doing so, they're achieving the same goals that will have been achieved by direct regulation. We are here because we really enjoy the quality of the debates, the fact that we can speak very directly, frankly, and between people being directly involved into this debate. And it's very important that from time to time we compare our notes, we see how we can go one step further and so on. We are still in a, I would say, not a startup process, but we are still all exploring some solutions and so on. And the fact that we can exchange our views in a very direct, frank manner is important to us, but it's important, I think, for the industry as well. We need to have these places where we can speak very freely of what should be the future of this trend.